Alright guys, we're back for volume 19 of Buster's Book Reviews. And last time I think I lied to you. I told you that I was taking a break from crime thrillers, and well, I ended up reading another crime thriller. Except this one is by Nora Roberts, and it's called Carnal Innocence. Okay, you got your two main characters. The girl is named Carolyn Waverly. She's a world-famous concert violinist, and she played for the president. She played for, like, Queens, all the famous people, Carnegie Hall, you name it. She's just world-famous. But finally, she collapsed one night and was in the hospital. Now she wants to rest and stop her mother from pushing her around. So she moves back to where her grandparents were before they died, in the place called Innocence, Mississippi. Okay, and she goes down there to try to relax and unwind. Yeah, good luck with that. But anyway, okay, the other main character is this dude named Tucker Longstreet. He's this rich, pretty boy, always laying around in the hammock, drinking a beer, and you know, he just never gets real excited about nothing. And he loves the women. He can charm the women. Okay. At the very beginning of the book, you got this other dude. There's a lot of other side characters. You got this dude who came across a dead body and found it. He goes running, and turns out there's been like three deaths. One in Tennessee, and two in Innocence that's real similar. Okay. Tucker goes into town one day for their housekeeper, Della, and she's gonna get her some cokes and a few things for her. But he decides they're a rich family, by the way. That when their parents were alive, they owned this big cotton place, and they make a ton of money off of it. And they own half the town, including this little place called the Chatting Shoe. And so he goes in to talk to his sister. He's got a sister named Josie, and a brother named Dwayne, who's a bit of a, you know. But he goes in, sits down with Josie, they start talking, and then this girl named Etta Lou comes in. Oh, dear Lord, these people are countrified. But anyway, Etta Lou walks in, she's like, Tucker Longstreet, you said you loved me, and we was going to be together, and we was going to get married. And he's like, I never told you we were going to get married, you said that. And they put on this big scene. She says, what are you going to do? He's like, what do you mean, what am I going to do? She said, I'm pregnant. Uh-oh, holy moly. Well, he's all upset. He goes to pick up his brother out of jail, and then they go home. And later on, you got a scene where Etta Lou shows up at this lake that's on Carolyn's property. Turns out she got a note from Tucker saying to meet her. And she's there waiting. She's like, Tucker, where are you? I'm half naked out here, and it's cold. But, then all of a sudden, somebody comes up and whops her in the head. And she gets killed. Well, the next day, Josie had already met Tucker because he was at the lake before that because he was upset because her grandmother used to let him come up there and relax, you know. And, of course, they got off to a bad start because he had nearly run over her before. And, of course, they pretty much don't like each other at first, or she don't like him. You know how it goes. And but the next day, she's walking around the lake on her property, and she looks and she finds Etta Lou dead. And she's all mangled and everything. So she calls Sheriff Burke. And him and the deputy come over and they explain to her there's been a serial killer on the loose and everything. Okay, and she tells them, well, the last person I saw there was Tucker Longstreet. And he's like, oh, God, because that's my buddy and everything, the sheriff. And that's how that goes. Okay, one other thing I need to mention is that Etta Lou's daddy comes before anybody knows she's dead and tells Tucker, "Where you?" He's like a crazy religious fanatic. He could like break all your fingers and be like, "The Lord is telling me to do it. The Lord is telling me to do it." He's just crazy as heck, and he's like spouting scriptures to Tucker and cussing him and saying, "Where's my daughter?" And he's like, "I don't know where your daughter is." And they get into a big fight and beat the ever-loving crap out of each other, bleeding and bruising, and finally the housekeeper comes out with a shotgun and says, I got one more barrel for you, Austin Haddock. Yeah. Austin Hanniger, I think that's his name. Anyway, he's like, this ain't the end, this ain't the end. Then when they find out Eddie Lou's dead, and a lot of people, he suspects that Tucker did it because that's the one that his daughter was with. And so he goes on and he wants to kill Tucker. So Tucker goes to confront Caroline for telling on him, and he's like, holy crap, and he knocks her down the floor, and she's like, what are you doing? And Austin was outside with a rifle going, pow, 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 just taking pot shots everywhere, you know. So, and that's as far as I'm going to go, because there's a lot of action packed in this. Basically, you got the serial killer, you got the story with Austin and Tucker trying to clear his name and everything. You got Caroline, who's a good character. This is just one big action-packed adventure. The characters are great. The story is great. 5 stars all the way. 5 stars. And it's just a good murder mystery and a romance at the same time. And I think you're going to love all the characters and love the story. I watched the movie right after I finished reading the book. I had it taped on DVR, and it wasn't as horrible as I thought it would be, as I'd heard it was. I mean, of course, they couldn't pack everything into an hour and a half that was in the book, but it wasn't horrible. It was a decent little watch, as most of her movies are. But like I said, this is a 5-star book, and if I hadn't spoiled it too much for you, I hadn't spoiled the ending or anything, I want you to, I just told stuff that happened pretty early in the book. So, I want you to get out there and read it. If you like this video, like it and subscribe to the channel. And that'll do it for this episode of Buckster's Book Reviews. You can follow Chris Snider at Chris Snider 83. And until next time, as Chris always says, happy readings.